Good evening. With you here is Joshua. We are here to have a session today about the paper 3. Thank you, because if not for you, then we would not be here to have our today's session. I'd like to have our today's session. Then today we'll be having a question. Okay, today is 23rd. Today is 23rd of August 2024. Therefore, today I'm having a very simple table where we'll be having x given in centimeters, and we have potential difference PD. V, it is given in volts, but we are having to have some instruction that it is given in 2 decimal points. And therefore, we'll move to the next part where we'll be having 1 out of x. It is specified that it should be given in 3 decimal points. We have 1 over v given to 2 decimal points. Then what is given? It is the x in centimeters and the potential difference. So we'll have the x is from 25, 30, 35, all the way to 50. All the way to 50. Therefore, I would get this second part where we'll be having our potential difference 0.58, 0.66, 0.74, 0.80, 0.90. The last one we have 0.92. Then now, the first question is, you are entitled to just complete the table. You are just entitled to complete the table. Then I'll try to use a red pen or a red marker so that you can fill that table there together. Let's look at the inverse of 25. It is up to accurate number of 0.04. But we have been instructed that we have this one as 3 decimal points, therefore it becomes 0.040. The second one is 30. This one is giving me 0.0333 Okay, yeah, 0.0333. We should truncated this one because it is to 3 decimal points. The one for 35 becomes 0.028. The next one is the one that is of 40, becomes 0.025. 0.025. The one for 45, it becomes 0.022. The one for 50, it becomes exactly 0.02. But for the sake of 3D piece, it becomes 0.020. Then now you can move to the inverse of the voltage. We have 0.58. This one becomes exactly to 2 decimal points, 1.72. 1.72. The next one, the one for 0.66, becomes 1.52. The next one for 0.74, 1.35. Zero 0.08, 1.25, an exact value. We have the one for 0.90, 1.11, 1.11. We have the next one, which is 0.92, which becomes 1.09. Therefore, this part of complete the table, which is awarded 2 marks, then we are done with it. So now, the next question is the question that is plot a graph of 1 over v against 1 over x. Against 1 over x. And this one is of 5 marks. Then after the graph, we are asked to determine the slope S of the graph. Determine the slope. So now I'll pick my graph paper so that I can now transfer these values which have been given there to this graph. Therefore, the first thing I'll get to draw the axis. I'll get to know the axis. Like that. The second thing is to label axis. Therefore, the one for y, it is 1 over v. I'm supposed to give the units, which will be per voltage. Then now it is against 1 over x. Remember the units for x are in centimeters. So this one will become per centimeter. The second thing is scale. The second thing is scale. You choose a scale that is suitable, a scale that is suitable, a scale that is suitable. And therefore, if you look the values for the potential difference, we are running from 1.09 all the way to 1.72. And therefore, we can decide to have this one in a good manner in which we can try our level best to accommodate all these values. Therefore, if I make 1.09, this one, to be 10.9, then I would have multiplied it by 10 raised to power negative 1. This one will become 11.1. This one is 12.5. This one is 13.5. This is 15.2. This is 17.2. Therefore, if I may try to look at this, suppose now I count the number of boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. If I try to pick one large box to be 1 unit, then my 17th will be fully at this part. Therefore, I can decide to use the scaling of, I say, this is 2, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, in that manner. Even though my scale will appear to be very small, but that is what I will go by as of now. Then on the x-axis, we are having 25 all the way to 50. That this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Like that. Then now, I'll shift now to bring all the values from the table to this graph. But don't forget, the one on y-axis, we had meant it to be multiplied by 10 raised to power negative 1. So this one was times 10 raised to power negative 1. 10 raised to power negative 1. Therefore, I now move to the first point, which will be on this x-axis, it was supposed to be 1 over x. It was supposed to be 1 over x. But what I have transferred here is the x. But there will be no problem because the 1 over x is ranging from 0.02 all the way to 0.04. Therefore, the same scaling can be applicable if I multiply this one times 10 raised to power negative 3. If I multiply that one times 10 raised to power negative 3. Then now you can move to the first point. Let's say that is on y-axis we have 10.9. But before you draw anything, you must ask yourself, what does a small square represent? Therefore, I'm having 10 small boxes which are representing 2. Therefore, a small box will be 2 divided by 10. This means that a small box is 0.02. So now I need to have 10.9. So above 10, I'm having 0.9. Then I divide by 0.2. So that now I get 4.5 small boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4.5. The half can be shifted to be 5. And this one is against the value of 20 on this side. It is against the value of 20 on this side, which will be 20 times 10 raised to power negative 3. Therefore, I'll count from here 1, 2, 3, 4.5. And circle that point in that manner. Then the next point will be 22 against 11.1. So on y-axis, I expect to have 11.1. So at 11.1, what is above 11? And this one is against 22. This one is against 22. Therefore, where do I have 11? I can decide to have 11 sharp. Can decide to have 11 sharp against 22. Therefore, on the y-axis, what does one small square represent? What does one small square represent? It is given 10. So we are having 10. 10, they are representing 5. So 5 divided by 10, you arrive at 0.5. So at 22, above 20, I'll expect to count 4 boxes. So that these ones gives me 22 against 11. 22 against 11. So that point becomes to be at this part. The next one is 12.5. 12.5 against 25. On my x-axis, my 25 is here. So now I'll search my 12.5. If this is 13, then 12.5 is at the midway here. Like that. I move to the next one, which will be 13.5. 13.5. 13.5. 13.5. Above the 13, we are having 0.5. So 0.5 divided by 0.2, I'm expected to have 2.5. So this is now against 28. So from 12 to arrive at 13.5, 13 is here. So I count 1, 2.5. I have seen where my half is. But now on the x-axis, I'm expected to be at 28. I'm expected to be at 28. So 8 divided by 0.5, I'm supposed to count 16. This is already 10. This is 15, 16. So I move upwards so that now I can match 13.5, 1,
1, 2.5. Sorry, it's supposed to be at 16 here.
Like that. The other one is 15.2 on the y-axis. So now 0.2, 15.2, above 15 there will be 0.2. So because one small box represents 0.2, I'll just count one box above 15. Then this one is against 33. So from here, 33 will be having an over of 3 divided by 0.5, which will give me 6 boxes. So this is 30, okay, 30. I have to have 6 boxes. And all these boxes should be matching 15.2, which is here. Like that. Then we are having the last one, which is on the y-axis is 17.2. 17.2 against 40. So at 40, this is 17 and this is now 17.2. Like that. Then now, before I join these points, I would first look at the next question. And these are the questions that will aid us in determining the kind of graph that will be drawn. So determine the slope of the graph. This is automatically giving us a green light to go ahead and draw a straight line. Therefore, I'll look at these points, look at the majority of the lines and how they can be joined. So majority of the lines will be joined in this manner. So it is only one point which is out. The rest are within the line. The rest are within the line. The rest are within the line. Then from here, number 3, we have already plotted. And now, number 4, we have got a line. We have already done all those processes. Then now, the next question will be determine the slope of the graph. Determine the slope of the graph. This one will be given by, S is given by change in y over change in x. Therefore, I must show where I have extracted my points. Therefore, I would pick a point in this manner. For example, I would say that I have picked a point like this. Let me use a different pen. A point like this. Against this. In that manner. So now I'll have these points and these points. So if you look at this one keenly, on the x, this is 15, meaning this is 17.5. Meaning that this is 17.5. Therefore, I'll have a point of 17.5 against
that is times 10 raised to power negative 3 against 10 times 10 raised to power negative 1, like that. Then this one will be 5 times 10 raised to power negative 3 against 6 times 10 raised to power negative 1, like that. Then if I have to go for the slope, now I'll substitute. You'll have to substitute and say 17.5 minus 5, we start with the y, so this becomes 10 minus 6, which is multiplied by 10 raised to power negative 1, divided by 17.5 minus 5 times 10 multiplied by, or else raised to power negative 3. Then this will give me a value of 4 times 10 raised to power negative 1 divided by 12.5 times 10 raised to power negative 3. Then if I feed this one, in my calculator, then I will be having 4 times 10 raised to power negative 1 divided by 12.5 times 10 raised to power negative 3. This is going to give me 32. It's going to give me 32. But don't forget about the units. On y-axis, we had per volts against per centimeter. If you write it correctly in this manner, you'll have it all. But now, ask yourself, 1 over V divided by 1 over centimeter, it will be 1 over V times centimeter divided by 1. This translates to us that this can be written as 32 centimeters per volts, or 32 centimeters per volts, in that manner. So this one is correct, this one is correct, this one is also correct. They are very okay. They are very much okay. Then now we can move on to the next question. Which is demanding us, or else it is saying, part D of the question, determine the constant. Determine the constant H given that H is equals to 8 divided by E naught S. Given that H is equals to 8, and then in this case, you are told that E naught is equals to 2.8 volts. Then what you need to do now, the first thing is do substitution, where you will say that our 8 will be given by 8, our 2.8 volts, and this one is multiplied by 32. If you have to be to merge the units, here we have volts times centimeters per volts. So this one will cancel out with this, meaning that our final units here will be in centimeters. Our final units there will be in centimeters. Therefore, 8 divided by 2.8 times 32. Remember, the moment you are working this one, then you must have these denominators in brackets. Therefore, I'm supposed to write my answer to 4SF because that is the rule of division or multiplication. Now, after substituting, I've done now evaluation and I've arrived at 0.0893. So this is the evaluation, or else the evaluation plus the answer with units. Evaluation, answer with units, where applicable, where applicable, where applicable, where applicable. So it may seem to be a very short question. It may seem to be a very short question, but you have garnered, this is supposed to be 3 marks. Then this one is supposed to be 2 marks. Therefore, 5 plus 3 plus this one is 10 plus the 2 marks of the table. That is already 12 marks. And a single mark, when it comes to, a single mark, when it comes to the practical, it means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot. Kindly do subscribe, and may you have the content being useful to you as a learner. This one will be very nice as you prepare for the paper 3. No matter how giant it may be, or else it may seem to be like, be a giant by yourself and conquer the paper. Thank you. Have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.